to Wine Wanderings. Welcome to Wine Wanderings. We're continuing our discussion today with Master Sommelier Tim Gaiser about his new book, Message in the Bottle. And there are a couple chapters, Tim, that perked my interest. What do you mean by evil dwarves?
Yeah, thanks, Tricia. That's a great question. So what I call the evil dwarves, and the name of the chapter in the book is Confronting the Evil Dwarves. Yeah, the evil dwarves are a subset of red and white grapes, and wines made from these red and white grapes easily confuse students. So if we look at the white grapes / wines, they're all semi-aromatic grapes, like Chenin Blanc from the Loire, Pinot Grigio from Alto Adige, Pinot Gris from Alsace, Gruner Veltliner from Austria, Riesling, dry Riesling from Alsace, Germany, and Albariño from Spain. So you got about 5 grapes there. And then for the red grapes, you've got, these are the, relatively speaking, thinner skin, lighter pigmented grapes like Grenache and Southern Rhone blends, or even Australia in the Barossa. What else? You've got Sangiovese based wines from Tuscany like Chianti Classico and Brunello, etc. Pinot Noir from Burgundy or other places, and Gamay from Beaujolais, and Tempranillo from Spain, Rioja, or maybe Navarra. So what you've got are 2 subsets of grapes, and you know what's interesting with the white wines or the red wines, they can kind of all look alike. They could all have similar fruit character, right? So all those grapes I named can be red fruit dominant, right? Even though that the fruit quality is going to be different because the places and the climates are all different. But what really sets them apart are 2 things. And actually these 2 aspects of tasting, to me, are the most important aspects of tastings. And the first one is called impact compounds. So that's a subset of about a dozen to 15 aromas and flavors that come from either grape chemistry or winemaking or place. And they include things like carbonic maceration and stem inclusion for Beaujolais Village, or monoterpenes, which is floral qualities that you would get in aromatic grapes like Gewürztraminer, Torrentes Viognier, things like that. But you know, you get floral qualities in all the semi-aromatic grapes, you do. And what else? Pyrazines in Sauvignon Blanc, and then all the other Cabernet Sauvignon family wines. What am I listing? Things like a Rotundon, pepper in Gruner Veltliner and Rhone varieties, red varieties. And then could be winemaking. So if you think about any Chardonnay, a lot of them are made with the holy trinity of, you know, Chardonnay winemaking, which is, I think, Burgundian by origin. And that's lees, contact, malolactic, and the use of oak, right? So those things, you know, we as professionals, we have to own those things. We have to be able to recognize them. And then for exam purposes, students need to connect the dots and say, you know, here I've got this wine that has carbonic maceration and stem inclusion, and it's got restrained alcohol and higher acidity. What could it be? It's got to be Beaujolais Village. So it's literally almost a decision matrix, but you got to have the right pieces. Now, the other big piece that I mentioned that separates the dwarves apart is structure. And, you know, we as professionals have to really be good at assessing structure. We have to be consistent. And by structure, I mean the levels of acidity, alcohol, phenolic bitterness if it's white wine, and then tannin in red wine. So we really need to be precise in knowing how much is in a specific wine, because from there, the structure alone is going to take you to a place with a specific climate, or maybe going back to cause and effect, it's going to say, wow, this wine was, you know, it's made from raisinated late harvest grapes. Okay, that means something. So those 2 things together, you know, help you tell these evil dwarves apart, you know. For instance, if I think about Gruner Veltliner, you know, it has floral qualities, but it has Rotundon, the white pepper quality, and it has really distinct vegetal, botanical notes in it. It's going to have minerality, and it's going to have some phenolic bitterness, right? But the vegetal qualities and the pepper qualities, I mean, it really can't be those other grapes, just can't. And of course,
I think it's like, is it the celery? In the greener.
Celery and daikon and radish and lentils and all that stuff, and parsley. And then you think about Sauvignon Blanc, you know, you recognize pyrazines in a white wine. It's no other grape, right? And then from there, the question is, does it have oak? And the other question, does it have minerality? and in which case you're going to get to classic examples really quickly. But if you can't put those things together, these impact compounds in the structure, that set of 5 white grapes and 5 red grapes, they're going to forever confuse you. So yeah.
So that's a great chapter to have in your book for people that are learning to do blind wine tastings and distinguish wine, but also for people that are consumers who just find out what characteristics they like.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great point. Absolutely.
Well, great. Well, Tim, thanks for joining us on Wine Wanderings.
Oh, my pleasure. And thanks for asking. It's great to see you.